Oh, hi there. I'm Ollie Greenhouse, Head of Public Relations for BHP Billiton, one of the many business and industry non-government organisations, or bingos, that are trying their best to save the planet from climate change. Everybody seems to think that we're an evil corporation, a Captain Planet villain. They think that we're greedy and short-sighted, which just isn't true. We're listed as the 19th biggest polluter in the world, which is a pretty scary thought if you don't know that only 10% of the emissions blamed on us actually come from us. 90% are on you, folks. That's right, you, the general public, every time you turn on a light bulb. But we aren't here to play the blame game. That's for the media and the politicians. We are here to help. Of course we care about economics, both the economy of the countries you live and work in, and our own business. But that doesn't mean we don't care about the environment. Here are some things that we are doing that you probably haven't heard about. We voluntarily invest 1% of pre-tax profits in community programs and projects, and our volunteers under the Matched Giving program in 2015 gave over 56,000 hours of time to community activities. That's 2,333.33 recurring days! In terms of the economy, the energy sector as a whole employs over 14,000 Australians full-time and 3.64 million Americans. We have rigorous standards for employment in our Modern Slavery Act of 2015, where we have strict rules regarding working ages and minimum wages, especially in developing countries, where there might be no government protection. And that's all before we mention our record on climate change. We have included a carbon price in our portfolios since 2004. As the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, also known as WBCSD, Secretariat Jasper Koch said at Kyoto, "A lot of companies that are around today will not be around in 50 years because they didn't manage to respond to a different economic environment which will be shaped by sustainable development issues." We want to be here for you in 50 years. We also want the world to be here. In 2010, when Gillard took the throne, we were actually for the carbon tax, but ended up disappointed when Aussie businesses, such as us, were disadvantaged on the world stage. Now we believe we need a global approach for a global issue, and still support some form of carbon pricing. It just needs to give everyone a fair go. We have seriously considered the impact of climate change on the world, and have invested over $400 million in research, development, and deployment of low-emission technology since 2007. Action on climate change, not a fad or fashion for us, but something necessary for both our business and the security of the world. Unlike the overly simplistic category of the green bingo, we do not benefit directly from taking this action on climate change in terms of money. Instead, we benefit by helping the world. In our portfolio, we have what we termed a central case, which is a series of assumptions about how we think the world is going to be in the next 20 years. We expect the US economy to recover and grow, for China and India to grow, countries to take action on climate change. Sadly, we also expect the Paris Agreement to be broken, and the world temperature to rise by at least 3 degrees Celsius. However, there is some hope. We have developed 4 broad scenarios to help our business manage these uncertain and precarious times. Though we just call them scenarios, feel free to refer to them as, say, doomsday prophecies, for a real sense of urgency. The first one is a new gear, where innovation enables us to save the planet, but not super quickly. Secondly, we have closed doors, where everybody argues, no one agrees, and everyone dies. Thirdly, we have the Global Accord, where we make like the Power Rangers joining their Megazord together and all come together to save the planet. And fourthly, we have the two giants. We invest everything in the technology of the US and China to save us all. These doomsday prophecies allow us to work our butts off to reduce our emissions, whilst also being ready to change tactics according to how things look in the rest of the world. Of the 11 countries we have offices in, all have signed the Paris Agreement, bringing us closer to the Global Accord. It is very important that our governments gather together and form a climate change policy. Without everybody working together, countries risk ruining their own economy to try and save the rest of the planet. This is a noble goal, but should we have to choose between jobs and a habitable world? We are doing what we can to help the planet, but at the end of the day, the Paris Agreement does not mention businesses, it mentions governments. Without the governments of the world coming together, as we sure hope they will, and creating effective policies, we won't have a planet left to live on. Anyways, that's enough from me, Ollie Greenhouse. I can only hope that I've enlightened you all, and made you realise that we here at BHP Billiton are not just a bunch of money-crazy businessmen that bend the rules for their own financial benefit, but we are on your side, fighting the battle for a cleaner Earth alongside you. But we're more like Batman, and clean up the streets without positive recognition from the shadows. Anyway, Ollie out.